First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody for being here. I have to say I love living in a village where we want to write love letters to a bridge to say farewell. Hokey as it seems, I think we all need to put a little more love out in the world, so this is a good thing. So, it was 87 years ago that 2,200 people gathered at this spot to commemorate Paisley's new concrete bridge over the Teeswater River. The village school children and the Owen Sound Boys Band marched down Queen Street to welcome the dignitaries that brought greetings from far and wide. The Paisley Council at the time hosted a banquet for 20 guests, followed by speeches and a concert and a dance at the Old Town Hall. Agnes Maffeo, the MP of Grey Bruce at that time, and the first woman elected to Canada's House of Commons, shared the following message. The new bridge over the Teeswater River in the village of Paisley will contribute to the happiness and convenience of every person who travels over it, whether by foot, horse, or automobile. What more can any bridge desire? Prior to this, there was a two-span steel bridge that carried traffic for a remarkable 50 years. And prior to that, it was in 1859 that Simon Orchard is credited for erecting the first bridge over the Saugeen River on Goldie Street. Before that very first bridge, Simon and his brother-in-law Samuel Rowe felled timber to create a footbridge that would get swept away by the floods every spring. And without that bridge, they communicated between the families on either side of the river using a dog named Danger that had been trained to swim back and forth carrying small articles. I didn't make that up. And prior to that, Indigenous history tells us that the Ojibwe First Nation traversed the Saugeen River and Teeswater rivers. The term Saugeen in English is derived from a corruption of the Ojibwe term meaning mouth of the river. The First Nations became allies of the French settlers, and they gathered, fished, trapped, and hunted along the many rivers and lakes around the Saugeen watershed. Today, the bridge that we are standing on was celebrated with great pomp and circumstance as one of the finest types in Canada. The bridge working group at that time was also made up of engineers, builders, county officials, and members of council who wished for all concerned to build the new structure in accordance with modern bridge requirements, and noted that anything above the roadway would obstruct the view of motorists and was to be avoided. Same things we want today. We want to enjoy the view, make something structurally sound, yet aesthetically pleasing, for the best price, and built to last. And just like the last time, according to local historian Judy McKinnon, a Bailey Bridge was used to allow passage during bridge construction in the village. I had an opportunity to paddle under the Bailey Bridge on Sunday and walk over it this morning. I think it's a pretty cool jumbo-sized mechano kit, personally. The Bailey Bridge itself was the brainchild of a Donald C. Bailey, who was later knighted, and he was a civilian engineer working for the British Army. To some historians, it was known as the bridge that defeated Hitler. Kind of cool that we have one in town. I heard this morning from one of the engineers that this Bailey Bridge is headed to the municipality of Brockton for their big bridge project in a couple of years. I feel really lucky that this short detour has been put in place for the next 2 years. This old bridge that we're standing on contains 75 tons of reinforcing steel and 700 cubic yards of concrete. In comparison, according to Ryan Munn, the bridge and structural group leader from BM Ross, the new bridge will have approximately 900 cubic meters of concrete. There will be approximately 33,000 meters of reinforcing steel, which would cover the distance if you drive from Paisley to Ottawa and back 29 times. The new bridge will also feature two 1.8 wide sidewalks with bump outs at the central pier that are designed to be incorporated into the North Dike for protection against flooding. It's designed for a 75-year service life. So any young people here today just might be around long enough to join in on a celebration just like this one when the new bridge gets replaced. As I was looking up the history of this bridge, I found a poem that was written for the souvenir booklet created to commemorate the day this bridge was opened. For all the poets in the audience, the clock has now been set. You have 2 years to come up with a new poem to celebrate the opening of the new bridge. If there's any teachers in the audience looking for a school project, we would appreciate that. So until then, I will leave you with this poem. A Reverie by S.A. Fletcher. I watched them working at the bridge, which was to span our river fair. The cheerful sound of industry rang out through morning air. Planks of the old lay strewn about, they served their turn, the bridge to be. Would of each up-to-date device of this our glorious century. Just so methought our fathers toiled, a bridge to build in days of yore. As in a dream, I saw them there, and wept for them who are no more. Yes, they are gone, who stood at gaze, so often towards our loved Saugeen. They live their lives, they and their ways, glide on in that great unseen. Ah, Paisley, with your hills and dells, your wondrous rivers flowing free, rejoice with these who build today, but honor those in memory.